This is Tired Goth, and I'm going to do an exclusive show on decrypting messages. So, while I don't necessarily know how to teach a person how to decrypt tarot cards or do readings, I have some very interesting keys that I would like to impart to you for free because I want to build the collective and I want to teach people what they're looking at. So, I have a few examples that I'd like to show you. I'm going to put them together for you here. And I'm going to explain to you what a few of these could mean with relation to tangible things. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm putting a book together about this. It's been in the works and it's almost ready. So you have a lot to look forward to with this. But I am literally giving you the handbook for monitoring tangible and intangible attacks, knowing what they look like, knowing what they appear to be, and watching them with a scope of reference manifest out of thin air so that you can detect them and create your threat model with them. So without further ado, I'm going to pull some examples of some tangible things that happen in real life that affect your monetary stability, such as getting hacked and all sorts of stuff like that. Things that you can look for in the cards, actually, if you're reading tarot cards or using any sort of divination tools that can manifest, issues, real world issues that we're looking for each day, and how it is that you can apply them to your best effect. So we have here, let's say one example is someone trying to hack your banking assets. You're going to see cards like this. Page of Wands in reverse. Scripting. Writing a script that seems harmless, writing a script that could be a loop script. Something simple that does a lot of damage. But it's not just that card. It's this card coupled with the Tower, the Death card, a great change resulting from an impact by this Page of Wands. So this little script does some heavy damage, as you can see. This is the signifier that you want to watch out for. The Page of Wands followed by a Wheel of Fortune with the Tower card and the Death card. If it's signified any further by cards like this, the Knight of Swords, this is an exfiltration attack with these cards. Okay? Exfiltration is the stance and the act of taking a script, a creative piece of work for ill will, for ill purpose, generated toward a Wheel of Fortune or a lucky circumstance, something having to do with finances. Could be a bank account, could be a bounty, it could be something like this. It's the negative position here in the reverse that signifies this could be an attack. The Tower, great changes, sudden occurrences, sudden impact, loss. With the Death card, the exchange, the removal of assets from a bank account. And then here, further swords to exfiltrate and then follow through with the completion of the attack to assure that any and all intellectual pursuits relating to the removal of these assets is then rushed to be covered up or otherwise to have its trace completely removed. Followed by something like this, injustice. Justice in the reverse. These cards are important to recognize in these sets of data because when they are coupled together, they signify events. They signify the themes of events. They signify things that you may want to be looking out for. They signify great changes that alter one's abundance and flow of energy, therefore. So it's very important to pay attention to this. If you have someone overseeing the energy in a Queen of Swords upright, this could be an investigator. This could be someone who was hired and trained to observe these types of things. If it's in the reverse position, you have a very, very sophisticated con artist. Again, this is coupled with these cards, okay? The Judgment card could be the call for the person on the receiving end of this situation to call judgment on this, possibly call the police, possibly report this to the authorities in the banking institutions, or even have the people responsible in the banking institutions for their whereabouts and an alibi. Supposing that this is something that attacked more than one account, corroboration could be necessary. There is a lot of data that is present in these pictures. Now, while I may not necessarily be able to teach you how to do this thoroughly, because it is a very intuitive thing, each context could resonate differently, you want to watch out for situations like that and your intuitive feelings if you are concerned that you're on the verge of being robbed. This is another one. The Page of Cups with the Sun. Let's put this in a threat model. The Page of Cups and the Sun. While some could consider this a communication, depending on how the energy feels when you have these two cards, let's say the Sun is in reverse, this could be a predator. Did you know that? This could be a predator. The Page of Cups with the Sun in reverse. An emotional action that caused disdain, unhappiness, or fear for a child. Okay? With the Knight of Wands, a rushed sexual or creative offer. Creativity is not just manifesting art. Sometimes in the reverse positions, it can be a venture of sexual pursuit. You want to be very careful with these cards and any of those other cards that I showed you. Death, Tower, situations like this, accidents. Accidents and great sweeping changes, life-altering changes is what you want to look out for with this. This is another card, the Three of Swords, in the upright, a great tragic loss. Now, if this goes over the child, this is something devastating that happened to a child. Someone innocent, someone defenseless, someone who was not expecting it. And it caused great ill ease for them. This is something you need to pay attention to. This is another one, Ten of Cups in reverse, grave unhappiness. All cups have been spilled in the reverse position. You want to be very careful if you start seeing minor arcana cards, because the energy seems able to be disregarded. It's like a minor suit. It's like small events. Small events that signify greater energy, like the Sun in reverse, which is a major arcana card. This is a sweeping event in a negative toned energy, a negatively tinged energy that signifies a loss. And this could have been the loss of one's innocence with the Knight. Consider the ages of the cards as well. The Page is a young person, adolescent. The Knight is barely a teenager. You have to consider the eras where these cards were created. An adult, a full-fledged adult in the era of the medieval times was 16 years old. A page could be a toddler. A knight could be an adolescent young man, prepubescent or pubescent. You need to take into consideration what these ages and what these signifiers are attempting to show you. Now, here's the thing. Not all of these cards are going to read the same every time. It is a measurement of the energy. However, since energy is ever in a state of flux and decline, the same pictures can tell you different things, which is why you want to see what the outlying cards are telling you, what the matched energy is telling you, what the signifying energy is trying to tell you. Here's another thing. If you see any of these cards and then you see a card in the Lenormand like the snake or the fox, which I don't have in front of me here, but if you see something like that, as a clarifier, you have a problem. You have a problem on your hands because you have someone who is hunting an innocent person, an innocent child, someone who has childlike tendencies, someone who is defenseless. Argumentatively, for the sake of argument, you are witnessing someone who is a danger to the life of someone innocent, and perceptibly, it's a child. So let's shuffle a few more cards. Here's another one. Okay. Two perfect cards for this. Okay. The 7 of Swords and the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. This is maybe an easy one for some of the readers in the chat, but I want to see, can anyone guess just energetically what this feels like? 7 of Swords. Look at this guy's face, his expression, the fact that he's carrying swords away. Swords could represent intellectual property. It could represent, matters of cognizance, knowledge of something, and how that transpires. And then the 10 of Pentacles is supposed to signify a home, where things are in a home, everything being in its right place, but it's in the reverse. If you are really looking for something like this and trying to seek clarity on this, this says to me a robbery, a theft. Someone entering someone's home to scale it for its ability to be harvested from, right? Scale its ability to be taken from, and then the house is turned upside down. Could also be a raid, but the raid would be this. An honest intrusion and turning the house upside down with the 10 of Pentacles. This is a raid. This is a robbery. Okay? So the reason why it's important to know the difference between these things is because you have to know what your threat looks like in these tools. If your tools are presenting you two cards that are exactly the same, but their positions are saying different things, that is what you need to hone in on. So the 10 of Pentacles in reverse is actually almost like everything in its rightful place shoved out of position. Things torn out of their place, things taken, removed. This signifier with the walking away, this could also be, if the 10 of Pentacles is upright and this is following it, somebody extracted something from the house. And you can almost set money on it. You could bet money that someone extracted something from that house and pulled something that belonged in that house away from the house. Possibly took it with them, checked it for value, whatever it was that happened, something was forcibly removed from the house. It was likely an object, and it was likely stolen without permission. This is what we're looking for. Followed by the Tower and the Wheel of Fortune. These cards right here, girl, guy, whoever, you got robbed. If you are seeing these cards here with the 10 of Pentacles followed by the 7 of Swords, and then the Wheel of Fortune following the progression here, right? The 7 of Swords where the theft transpired, and a Wheel of Fortune here, and a Tower. This is the discovery. The Tower, or the sudden event. The sudden event here, the Tower, is the discovery that something was removed from the house by the person who owns the house. The Wheel of Fortune is closest to the 7 of Swords. This is what they got away with. Okay? Know your threats. Know your threats. The 10 of Pentacles in reverse and the 7 of Swords, this could be someone checking the place out. This could also be a very unhappy home because somebody ran through it and created a lot of very spiritual damage here. So there's also the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower. The Wheel of Fortune and the Tower. The Wheel of Fortune and the Tower with this means the robber didn't get away with anything. Possibly they got caught, they got arrested, because the Six of Wands here is the Victory card. But the Victory is in reverse. So it's going back to a fight, a struggle of the Five of Wands energy. It's not signifying a victory. However, I'm going to show you what an unfortunate victory of this stance and caliber would look like. If you had, for example, the Ten of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords, this is the robbery. Remember, we just discussed this. This is the robbery. Followed by the Wheel of Fortune, followed by the Tower, the resulting discovery of the robbery and what was taken. And then, if it's signified by this, falling under the Seven of Swords, it was a successful robbery. This is something that needs to be taken into account in threat modeling, because if you don't want that person to get away with what they did, you need to find out what their energy is. You need to find out what happened, what transpired behind your back, and that pinpoints and hones what you would be investigating as the person looking into this. So that was just some quick coaching. I do teach classes on identifying tangible and intangible threats. You can hire me for this. You can book me for a class. I try to make myself accessible. I don't mean to stutter. I'm very tired, but I try to make myself accessible. I try to make myself a person who is available to help people in any way that I can, so that they too can carry successful keys into their realm of exploration and the realm of discovery. I only hope that you would be so kind as to accredit me for what it is that I have developed in the way of my own points of reference and comprehension of these tasks, that you would be kind enough, if you're so interested and so inclined, to book me for a class where I can teach you further threat modeling extensions of this craft that I have, this talent that I have. And in the case that anything that I can do for you benefits you, maybe we can even team up and partner, because I am looking for people who are talented, skilled, and here to do the world some justice. So I would really like to make life simple and easy for you, and I love you all very much. I'm Tired Goth. You just watched my new threat intel series, Psychic Decryption. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.